Hi everyone, welcome to November's site meeting. First we have our attendance. So it looks like we've gone a little higher this month, for this is a reflection of October's numbers. So J-Town 82.97%, Mount Washington 71%, BE is 83%, Developing Young Minds 77%, Great Beginnings is 83%, Raisin Factory 84%, Creative Kids 77%, and Spencer is 86.75%, so a little better. First thing is our ITERS tip of the month. It's Nature and Science number 20. We're going to go over 7.1, and that is Nature and Science materials are organized into an interest center for twos. So this is just really for 2-year-olds. You need to have all your materials together, so gathered together in a well-defined space, nature collections, pictures, books, toys. I know a lot of you have those little bugs and things and magnifying glass, so all of those things just need to be in one area. Next on our list is holiday closures. If you could just remind us, I know the holidays are coming up and some of you do close for those, so just letting people from OVEC know so we know when you're closed and when we can and cannot be there. Tadpoles. I just want to reiterate that tadpoles is not your family advocate's responsibility. You as a teacher need to be signing in your children every day the moment you get them. This is crucial. This is how we take attendance. Attendance needs to be done by 10 o'clock. So make sure you're marking kids as they come in, marking them absent if you know they're absent, the reason why they're absent. Another thing I want to talk about in tadpoles is notes home. Tadpoles, it needs to be used as a to provide a snapshot of their day in a positive way, not she was sassy today. What does that mean? So if you have any behavior concerns or any other concerns at all, you need to be making phone calls and speaking to those parents, not leaving those notes in tadpoles. But I do encourage you to leave messages in there. If your center is doing pictures, snap a picture of an activity you're doing. It's a very great way to communicate and still build relationships with those parents, being that a lot of them aren't allowed in the building yet. That being said, with parents not being allowed in the building, next is children's belongings. I want to be sure, especially as it's getting cold, when kids are getting picked up. Some centers have runners and other, floaters are running kids, not the child's teacher, but we want to make sure we're returning the child with all of their belongings they came with that day. So if they came with a coat, they need to have the coat on and being taken outside to their parent. So just make sure you have everything that the child came with that day, any notes that needs to go to that child's parent. Just make sure we're closing the loop there on the day and providing parents with everything they need, okay? Mighty Minutes. I just want to make sure we're still doing that. I haven't seen those out and about being used. I haven't seen any evidence of them, so I want to make sure that we have them. If you could locate those, familiarize yourself with those and start implementing those. If you need help with that, you can speak to Jenny and I, and we'd be happy to help you, okay? It's a great transitional tool. CDA class change. There has been a change in location there. So that class currently, it is at Newburgh from 5 to 8 p.m. and I believe that class started a couple weeks ago, but you can jump in at any time if you prefer an in-person class, but it is at Newburgh now, okay? Next is all TRIS hours are currently have been submitted and from pre-service training, so you should be able to pull your TRIS report and see those trainings in there. If you have any questions with that, you can speak to myself or Jenny and we'll help you out with that. CDA deadline. So now, as of today, or maybe sometime last week, you have 18 months to complete your CDA. which is great. But let's not lose sight of that extra time, because this can sneak up on us. So, but just know, you have 18 months now instead of 12 from your hire date. EHS students are not allowed in non-OVEC rooms. So your 3-year-old, your preschool rooms, they need to be in an OVEC room. Last but not least, please wear your mask at all times. November site meeting, it is going to be due the end of November here, and it's going to be due November 29th. So that gives you plenty of time to get back. I know that's probably after Thanksgiving, but we'll give you to the 29th to have that returned. And then that is the same day that parent-teacher conferences are due. So I just want to remind you, those are due on the 29th. I'd be working on those now. You need to have the developmental learning reports, take-home activity, all of those things you need to gather and have those for families, okay? Next, we've got a director's meeting December 8th, and that will be in person at OVEC, just so you know. Our health specialist, there has been a little bit of a change. We have a vacancy within that. The only ones that have changed, Cindy still does BE, J-Town and Mount Washington. Samantha does Developing Young Minds, and Sarah does Creative Kids, Raisin Factory, and Great Beginnings. So once they fill that position, they'll reassign those sites. Next on our list, below is your specialist. So if you need anything, you can reach out to those individuals. Next is our school readiness goals. We're doing number 2 this month. Children will engage in positive interactions through secure relationships with consistent, responsive responsive adults. My mind is not working. And that aligns with TSG Objective 2A. So here's some progress towards those goals. Greet children in a welcoming way. These are great ways to build relationship with children. Individual reading, baby doll circle time. Think about how you want your child or yourself treated. Harsh tones have no place in an early childhood classroom. Make goodbyes meaningful and pleasant. So those are all some great ways, some great strategies you can use to build some good relationships with your kiddos. Next on our list is curriculum fidelity. So we're going to do physical environment. The classroom is organized to provide a responsive environment that addresses the needs and growing abilities of young children. C, space and materials are age appropriate and updated to accommodate children's developmental needs, abilities, and interests. Classroom areas are comfortable and designed to welcome families. So some action steps you can take is shelves are labeled with each child's home language, ensuring all things have a place. That's a great way to keep your room organized and help children, empower them to clean up and keep your community looking nice. Having age-appropriate toys in each appropriate center, allowing children to have access to all toys throughout the day. So no turning shelves or putting things away because they can tend to be messy. We need to make sure they have access to a rich amount of materials throughout the day. Have appropriate adult seating for a parent to come and engage with their child at drop-off or pick-up time. They may come and sit and read a book and get their child settled and then leave and go about their day. That was in the good old days when they were allowed in the building. Frequent family communication through a bulletin board or tadpole. So still finding ways to communicate with parents, and I've always encouraged tadpoles is a great way to keep in touch with families, make them part of the day. So please utilize those. I think that's it. I hope you guys have a great rest of the month and stay warm. See ya.